The path of the independent mind. There's a quiet tyranny in the modern world. It's not a tyranny of laws or governments, but one that takes place in the mind. It's that subtle, constant pressure we feel to outsource our thinking, to borrow our convictions, and to live a life where we depend on others for our thoughts. We're handed opinions like prepackaged meals, convenient and easy to swallow, but they're ultimately empty of the nourishment that comes from making up our own minds. This silent epidemic of conformity might promise safety in the crowd, but the price is the highest one imaginable: the loss of yourself. Welcome to the House of Philosophy and Seed. Today, we begin a journey on a path that's less traveled, but it's a path that leads to the highest form of freedom. This is the path of the independent mind. Now, thinking independently doesn't mean rejecting all advice or shutting yourself off from the wisdom of others. That's just building a fortress of foolishness. Instead, an independent mind listens to many voices, but trusts its own careful examination. It's a mind that is open, but it's not hollow. It understands that real conviction isn't something you inherit, it's something you forge. It's about accepting the profound responsibility of your own judgment and knowing that no one else can do your thinking for you, just as no one else can live your life for you. This path isn't easy. It demands discipline, courage, and a willingness to sometimes stand alone. But it leads to a life of authenticity, purpose, and self-mastery. Today, we'll walk through 6 lessons that form the foundation of this journey, helping you transform from a passive consumer of thoughts into a responsible cultivator of your own intellectual world. Section 1. The seed of thought. Every structure, every forest, every life begins with a single seed. Your mind is like a fertile garden, and every thought you allow in is a seed. So, the first lesson on the path is to become a conscious gardener. An independent mind starts with deliberately choosing which seeds to plant. For much of our lives, we let seeds get scattered into our minds by the winds of culture, media, and what everyone else thinks. We unconsciously accept ideas, beliefs, and even limitations without ever stopping to question where they came from or if they're any good. The independent mind, however, chooses to plant the thought. It understands that the quality of your inner world will determine the quality of your outer world. Before you let a thought take root, you have to examine it. Is this seed worthy? Is it true? Will it lead to growth or to decay? This is the very foundation of intellectual sovereignty, taking back control of what you allow to occupy your mind. Reflective question. What seeds, what thoughts, ideas, and beliefs are you letting into your mind right now without your conscious permission? Practical exercise. For the next 24 hours, carry a small notebook with you. Anytime you come across a strong opinion or a compelling idea, whether it's from a podcast, a conversation, or just your own mind, write it down. Don't judge it. Simply notice the seeds being offered to your garden. This is the first step toward reclaiming your own mental territory. Section 2. The roots of discipline. A planted seed is just potential. Without water, soil, and care, it will wither. The second lesson, then, is that disciplined effort is what grows the roots that give a thought life. Discipline is the bridge between a fleeting idea and a lasting principle. The world is full of people with admirable ideas but no roots to sustain them. They might agree with a profound concept, but the moment the first storm of opposition or the first dry spell of difficulty arrives, their conviction wavers. That's because they haven't done the work to truly own the thought. Developing roots means you don't just accept an idea, you struggle with it. You trace it back to its source. You study the arguments against it, not to abandon your position, but to strengthen it. This disciplined work is what transforms a borrowed opinion into a pillar of your own character. It's the process of building your internal structure. Always remember, discipline is freedom. Reflective question. When was the last time you dedicated real, focused effort to understanding an important idea, going beyond the headline and into its complex depths? Practical exercise. Take one idea from the notebook you started. Set aside 30 minutes, with no interruptions, to strengthen its roots. Look up its strongest critics and try to understand their arguments. The goal isn't to be swayed, but to deepen your own understanding so your belief is no longer fragile. Section 3. The tree of character. With a worthy seed and deep roots, a tree begins to grow. This tree is your character, the visible structure of your inner world. The third lesson is that a life of disciplined thinking builds a resilient and unshakable character. This is where you build the structure. A tree is defined by its solidness. It provides shade, it gives shelter. It stands firm in the wind, not because it's rigid, but because its roots run deep and its trunk is strong. The same is true for the person with an independent mind. Their character isn't swayed by the shifting winds of public opinion or social pressure. They have an internal center of gravity. This doesn't mean they're arrogant or unmoving. A tree is alive. It bends, but it doesn't break. The independent mind listens and adapts, but it does so from a place of strength, not weakness. Its principles are the wood, hardened over years of disciplined thought and action. Reflective question. Does your inner world, your character, feel solid and self-defined? Or does it feel like it shifts to match the expectations of whoever you're with? Practical exercise. Think of one core principle you truly believe in: honesty, integrity, compassion. Tomorrow, find one small, deliberate opportunity to act on it, especially if it's inconvenient. Write down what you'll do. For instance, tomorrow at the team meeting, I will give my honest and respectful opinion, even if it isn't the popular one. Section 4. The Book and the Shield. An independent mind isn't an empty one, it's a library. The fourth lesson is about learning to read the world, but also learning how to shield yourself from its falsehoods. The world is a book filled with endless information, but not all of it is wisdom. The independent mind is both a reader and a warrior. It reads voraciously history, philosophy, science, art. To understand the vast spectrum of human thought and experience, it seeks out different perspectives, knowing its own view is always incomplete. This is the book. But it also carries a shield. That shield is discernment. It's the practice of critical thinking. When faced with a new claim, the independent mind doesn't just passively accept it. It examines it. It asks questions. What's the source? What's the evidence? What biases might be at play here? It doesn't reject advice, but it verifies it before letting it guide any action. It responsibly filters information to protect its inner world from manipulation and deceit. Reflective question. Do you find yourself either rejecting outside input completely to protect your views, or accepting it without question to avoid conflict? Where can you find that middle path of responsible examination? Practical exercise. The next time you get a piece of advice or hear a strong claim, just pause. Instead of immediately agreeing or disagreeing, ask one clarifying question. It can be as simple as, what leads you to that conclusion? Or, can you help me understand the evidence for that? This one step shifts you from a passive receiver to an active examiner. Section 5. The Pathway of Action. Knowledge that isn't applied is just a weight, not a tool. Wisdom has to become action. So, the fifth lesson is that the independent mind must walk its own path. It's not enough to build a beautiful library of thought in your head. You have to use those thoughts to navigate the world. Here's the principle. Rule the outcome. The ultimate test of your thinking is the life you actually live. Your actions are the final expression of your convictions. An independent mind works to close the gap between what it knows is true and what it actually does. It takes responsibility not just for its thoughts, but for the consequences of those thoughts as they play out in the world. The path is made by walking. Every step you take, guided by your own examined principles, reinforces your character and makes the next step a little easier. This is how you build a life that is a true reflection of your deepest, most well-reasoned self. Reflective question. In what area of your life is there the biggest gap between what you believe is right and how you actually act? Practical exercise. Look at the principle and the action you planned in Lesson 3. Today, take that action. Afterward, spend 5 minutes reflecting not on the outcome, but on the feeling of closing the loop between thought and deed. This is the fundamental rhythm of an authentic life. Section 6. The Sunrise of Freedom. The final lesson is both the destination and the new beginning, the sunrise of freedom. True freedom isn't the absence of restraint, it's the presence of self-mastery. It's the hard-won result of the disciplined path you've been walking. Every morning, the sun rises, bringing light and clarity. For the independent mind, this sunrise is a daily reminder of the freedom it has earned. This isn't the chaotic freedom of being enslaved by every passing impulse or social trend. It is the ordered freedom to choose your thoughts, define your principles, and live a life of purpose and integrity. It is the freedom that comes from taking responsibility. This freedom is the ultimate power. It's the ability to rule your own mind, and in doing so, to build your life. The seed of thought, nurtured by the roots of discipline, has grown into the tree of character. It's been tested by the world, guided by wisdom, and has walked its own path. Now it stands in the light of a new day, the master of itself. Reflective question. What does true freedom really mean to you? Is it just having no external constraints? Or is it the internal power to choose your own path, no matter the circumstances? Practical exercise. At the very start of your day tomorrow, before you look at your phone or engage with the world, take just 1 minute. Look out the window at the sky. Set a single, clear intention for how you will exercise your independent mind today. It could be something like, I will question one assumption, or I will act on one principle. Start your day with an act of intellectual freedom. This video is an invitation. The path of the independent mind is a continuous journey, not a final destination. If these lessons speak to you, consider this the first step. Continue your journey by exploring the principles we share at the House of Philosophy and Seed. Engage with these ideas, challenge them, and make them your own. Plant wisdom, change the world. Let us know in the comments below, which of these 6 lessons feels the most challenging for you right now? Your reflections are a valuable part of this shared exploration. The path begins with a single conscious choice, to plant a worthy thought. From that one seed, through the steady work of discipline, a character is built, one that can read the world with wisdom and protect itself with discernment. That character then walks a path of action, turning knowledge into a living reality. And from that journey, true freedom is born. The quiet, powerful self-mastery that allows you to rule your mind and build your life. This is the promise of the independent mind. It's a difficult path, but it is the only path that is truly your own. The seed of a better world and a better life is within you. The seed never dies. Thank you for walking with us today. This is the House of Philosophy and Seed, founded by Mohammed W. Abdallah. Plant the thought, build the structure, rule the outcome.